There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Hello everyone and welcome to SyFy Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows that used to be on the SyFy channel. I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and tonight we'll be discussing the penultimate episode of Season 4 of The Expanse.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I can't believe there's only one episode left.
I know.
And yes, I've managed to not watch the finale till we do this. It's very hard.
Stronger than a lot of people, that's for sure.
Very hard. I think I was texting Steve right away. It's like, oh my God, I have to watch it. It's like, no, don't press the button. So I withheld. So let's jump in, and I'm going to already screw up the titles. Is it Saeculum?
Yep.
Episode 9, Saeculum. Holden and Miller race to save Illis. Mercury puts his endgame into motion, putting the Rossi crew's lives at risk. All right. You know, Mercury, I'm not sad that I am not going to see you for a minute. I am sad that you were not taken out by Amos. Okay, that's how.
Right.
That's where we are. All right. Let's see. We didn't get Avasalara, Bobby, Drummer, Ashford at all.
Yeah, this was strictly Illis and on this 3 spaceship.
Yes. So Naomi, Alex, and Lucia are working hard to keep the barb afloat. And it seems that the cable is strong enough, but with the extra weight, things are just not working out the way they had originally planned.
Yeah, there is a problem with them getting further up in the orbit because of the weight of the barb and all that ore.
And they keep saying they could dump the ore. Now, even Lucia at some point is like, you know, that might be the best so we can save the people. And Naomi's like, no, we're not going to do it until we absolutely get to that point. So, okay, we need more power. Well, when that's going on, and of course, Alex trying to work some magic, figure something out, we have crap going on over on the Edward Israel. And Sarkis, who was trying to figure out what the hell's happening, was basically threatened without officially being threatened.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, dude, you don't need to put your hand on your gun because you got an attitude about everything and you're Mercury's little bitch, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. He's a mini Mercury.
Oh, God, it was tense.
Oh, yeah. I really thought that Sarkis was going to end up leading a uprising on the Edward Israel, or at least hoping he would.
I know. I was like, come on, do something. I don't know, space him. I'm like, wow. Like, the second that happened, like, come through my head, I'm like, wow, I'm mean. But Sarkis does at least get a message to Alex, and he's like, Mercury ordered a shuttle to be sent to you. Did you ask for it? Now, I love the way he's trying to be like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I can't say much.
Right.
Figure some shit out, man. And of course, this is meant to deter the Rossi, either by blowing them up, blowing the line, blowing the barb out, something.
Right.
But I'm thinking one light shuttle blew up. That was the only other light shuttle you guys had.
Exactly.
And you decided, because Mercury's a dumbass who apparently has his head up his ass, oh, we're going to send this to blow up the Rossi. How are you going to get your people then, dumbass?
Yeah.
Oh, did nobody think about that?
Nope.
Or did you think, oh, maybe we'll just blow like the connection, the tether, and then the Rossi will still help us?
No.
No, that ain't happening. But Alex, because of Sarkis, gets this information, sees what's happening, and, well, they manage to blow up the light shuttle by shooting it down. But, big but here.
Yeah.
Not everything is awesome. Because the people in the barb who were outside managed to brace themselves. But Lucia and Naomi, who were outside of the Rossi, did brace themselves, but there was a lot of debris coming at them. Now, I have to ask, because as soon as he said there's debris coming, I instantly thought, oh my God, one of them's going to get killed.
Right.
Did you think that we were going to have a big issue, especially with this episode, that one of them wasn't going to make it?
When you get to this point in any season, there's a very strong possibility that somebody's not going to make it through. And so, yeah, I thought this was a very strong possibility in this episode that we might lose a crew member.
We kind of almost did.
Oh, yeah.
Because Lucia ends up getting knocked out of the ship and she's like spinning in space and she can't grab anything because there's nothing to grab.
Yeah.
So as she is spinning uncontrollably, Naomi tells Alex, do not spin the ship. I'll tell you when I get back. Stay off the channel.
Right.
And clamps herself on, like, I don't even know what that was, a tether, and launches herself out to get Lucia. Now, she is, of course, trying to catch her. I was hoping that her daughter would be doing the same from the other end.
Right. But that didn't happen.
No. But at the same time, they're not necessarily close enough for her daughter to see what happened.
No, they really aren't.
But I was really hoping.
Away.
Yeah, I was just like, come on, you can do it. Save your mom. But oh my gosh, this was just breathtaking and terrifying.
Oh, yeah. It was an amazing scene.
It was so good. It is one of those that, yeah, I don't know about you, but like my stomach kind of was clenching. Like you get that almost like roller coaster feel.
Oh, absolutely.
And then when she grabs her and starts like reeling back to the ship, I'm like, please, no complications.
Yeah. We don't need another piece of the shuttle come slice Lucia in half or something.
And I was just like, yeah, all the bad things that could possibly happen. Exactly. Were going through my head.
Yes.
But then I'm like deep breath when they hit. I'm like, oh, okay, they made it. Yes. That's all I kept thinking because it freaked me out. But oh my God, that was like so cool to watch how they did that.
Yeah.
Okay. They're back on the ship.
And it's not good.
Of course it's not. And Lucia's like, maybe we just need to cut the whole ship. We can get everybody over and we can at least save the people. And again, I'm like, okay, you know what? Can we have 5 seconds? Okay.
Yeah, because that's all it took Alex to come up with a plan.
Yes, because it's risky, but Alex, I love you. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it just might work.
They managed to utilize the batteries from their railgun to act as a thruster. And I'm thinking, why didn't you use that railgun to take out whatever was causing, like, is it a moon or is it like a satellite? I can't remember. Is it an actual moon that was like causing the weird like field?
Right.
Yeah. I guess that's why they couldn't.
Yeah, the moon kind of exploded or something that might have helped cause the,
I don't know, something. But
reaction not to work.
Yeah, but I love it because Naomi's like, it's not gentle. Alex is like, yeah, we'll do what we got to do. It's like we're going to fall off a cliff. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Oh, this is scary. Is it going to work? And the crew sees Illis instead. Well, I mean, they get this to work for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the crew sees Illis with blue lines going across the planet. And I'm thinking, fuck.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously?
We have the return of the protomolecule. Oh, no.
Right? And it's like, oh, God, my head hurts. I can't do this because I want them to have a minute to breathe, and they're not getting that.
No.
Now, let's go back down to Illis because we're pretty much right back where we left off with Holden and, like, talking to Miller.
Yep.
Like, the hell have you been? And it's like, wait a second. Where's your hat?
Yeah.
You're missing your fedora. And this is when we get interesting information. When he's wearing the hat, it seems that's when he is the investigator for the protomolecule.
Exactly.
Because he's being controlled by the protomolecule in that he is strictly the memory at that point. But when he is Sans hat, he is the real Miller. It's like, I was wondering if somehow being on this planet, he was actually real.
Right. It sure seemed that way for a little while, didn't it?
Yeah. I was like, is somebody going to walk up and be like, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
But he's talking about how hard it is to stave off the investigator. And he, of course, seems way more coherent and more like himself, which is really interesting.
Right.
That we get this because it's taking how long?
Well, yeah.
But he's like, hey, listen, let me help you. You help me. We got this. There's kind of like a bomb thing here because, I've been searching, and in searching, there's like a big black hole, and it reminds me of our other show. It's like, oh, I've been able to map everything except this area. So.
Yeah, it must be in that area.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Well, it also kind of makes the proto-molecule inert. It's like, what do you mean, kind of? Well, this bomb will make it all stop because it was made by the people way back.
Right.
Okay, so good. Where is this? Well, apparently it's not very close.
No.
But how the hell is Miller opening these quote-unquote doors just like in the wall? It's like, okay, this way. What? Where are we going? I think I need a map.
Yeah, a very large one.
And Okoye apparently had been close enough to overhear Holden talking to himself, so she follows him. And I'm thinking, all right, so she does say she didn't hear anybody else, so obviously, okay, she doesn't see Miller. Miller's not actually real. I was hoping, but
right.
There we are. So we also have Amos looking for Holden. And guess what? Mercury's also looking for Holden because he's like, you know what? Let's kill the cap.
Yep.
Let's just make this a great day.
Yeah. It's time for me to make my move and cap the cap and cap the Rossi and take control of this bee.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen, dude.
No.
Because if nothing else, Amos is going to put a hole in your head. Still hoping, but.
Yeah.
And as everybody, of course, is trying to do their own thing, Chandra informs Amos, like, listen, you need to steer clear of Holden and just stay away from Mercury. It'll be fine. And I love it because Amos is like, listen, I don't want to hurt you, but Holden is taking precedence over whatever feelings I may have for you.
Yeah. You get in my way, I will shoot you.
And he was very straightforward with that, so I don't know where she thought anything was going.
Right.
But we have to hold on that for a minute because then we go back to Holden and Miller, who come to this weird little hole in the floor. And it's glowing purple, and I love it because Holden's like, what is it? And he sticks his hand in, and it's like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Still don't know what it is.
Right. I'm just going to stick my hands in it. Miller's like, you go in. He's like, what? I just jump? He's like, jump, walk, whatever. So he does. But right before he jumps in, Okoye reveals herself, and she's like, what are you doing? Because Miller had disappeared. And she's like, where are you going? You don't even know where that goes. Why, are you crazy? Oh, kinda. But I'm trying to fix everything. And he's like, you need to leave. And she's like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, well, you're not coming down with me. And then he has to explain, Miller won't talk to me if you're here.
Right.
And I don't know why Okoye is like, oh, okay, fine. But she leaves. I mean, it's not till after he jumps in the hole, but
right.
Holden's taking a leap of faith. I guess she is too. And I love it because we see Holden like going down this slide. Thankfully, he's not going to get slide butt, but
yeah, he was going down a long ways.
And apparently at some point he even napped, which like, how long has he been falling? Geez, how big is, well, he has been up though for several days. So you know what? Maybe it didn't matter if it was 5 minutes or 5 days. Yeah, he's just like knocked out. But next time we see Okoye, she's back in the camp, and Mercury had already grilled her on where Holden was and what he was doing. And so she tells Amos what's going on. And again, interesting because somebody tried to stop Amos, and I love Amos takes the gun. It's like, what?
Yeah. Don't you even think about it.
It's like, you really want to do this? Let's do it. It's like,
Please choose to live, my friends.
Right? So many shows coming together right now. Yeah. I love it because when we go back, Miller is there, and it's like, all right, guy, it's the end of the fall. It's like an elevator might have been a little quicker, although I wouldn't have been able to sleep, I guess. Whatever.
Right.
Whole new location. Hey, let's go this way. And apparently, and I don't understand this because Okoye, I'm assuming, did not show Mercury how to get to the hole, but he managed to find the hole.
Right.
Because she ends up taking Amos, yeah. But they had already gone down it. So yeah, they must have like jumped down. And we don't know the time frame. Now, we do find out later from our listener, Christina, the time frame seems very different because it's like, to me, this feels like it's just been, I don't know, like maybe an hour difference or so.
Right.
If that, between the time Holden left and then Murtry follows and then Amos is pretty close behind. So I'm confused. I kind of wish they would have given us a little bit more just so we know like what we're talking about time-wise.
Right.
But anyway, so like I said, Okoye took Amos and she's like, screw this, I'm going to. She's a scientist. She wants to know what's going on and how big this place is, and it's pretty giant. So
yes, it is.
well, everybody managed to reach the end of it eventually to get down there. But we have Holden and Miller at the end of the tunnel first, and there's this giant, just massive space with this metallic bridge, which has a gap that you kind of have to jump onto, which, first of all, I'm looking at that, and it's not more than like a step.
Right.
But I'm looking at it going, my ass would fall somehow. Yeah. And I love it because even Miller goes, or I'm sorry, Holden asks Miller, what happens if I fall? How long will I fall? And he's like, forever. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, that is not good.
Yeah, because you could walk on a space, because it looks like about as big as a sidewalk, a normal space of a sidewalk.
Right.
I would still be like, oh my God, I'm going to fall. Because like you're looking down and it just feels like you're just all off.
Right.
So as he's walking it and he's looking, I'm like, oh God, my stomach. Like I just felt like, again, like that roller coaster feel. Because looking down, it's like, ugh. Like when they show you in movies, like when they're looking off the edge of a building, I kind of get that same feel. I'm like, I couldn't do it. I don't know about anybody else.
Nope. Even though he's got to be miles and miles underneath the surface, it still looks like he's on top of the world. And
yes. They look crazy. But he does it. He manages to get across. And hey, better person than I am, I'll tell you that. But when they do finally hit the end of their journey, we see a giant glowing hole. It looks very much like a little mini wormhole.
Yes.
It's this golden ring with this just dark center in the middle of the chamber. And I love it because Miller doesn't see it, which I thought was interesting because he's like, what do you see? And Holden has to explain it.
Right.
So he's like, oh, okay, that's it. That's got to be it. So Miller's like, all right, so this is my plan. I'm going to jump into a thing and just jump into the hole. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Should I have brought an RV car or, RC car? What's going on? It's like, no. I'm ready to get rid of the protomolecule and be done. And this is great. And there looks to be like some loose pieces of stuff up there maybe I can jump into. And I'm just thinking, loose pieces of stuff? What?
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
Well.
And until we see it, it was really hard for me to really
visualize what he was talking about. Yes.
So, he's like, I'm doing this. And that'll be it. I'll be done and I can finally rest and I won't hear the screaming anymore and I won't hear this. And it's like, oh, that hurts.
Yeah. So we always thought Holden was a tortured soul, but Miller has been just as tortured as Holden has, if not more.
Yes. And because the investigator at some point asking like what rain tastes like.
Yeah.
Holden looks at Miller and like his parting words, he's like, rain tastes like water. There's no taste. And I don't know if he felt good about that. Like Miller was just like relieved, like, oh, I'm not missing out on it.
Right.
I don't know. It was weird. But let me see. We go back. We have everybody down the hole and Chandra trying to reason with Amos and trying to appeal to the romance that they've had, which I wouldn't exactly say it was romance.
No.
But hey, whatever works for you.
Yeah. There was some feelings there, but I wouldn't say it was love at all cost.
Right. And Amos, again, just tells her point blank, despite what I felt, I will go through you.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, this hurts because I felt like Amos was finally letting his guard down some.
Yes.
And that's when suddenly we get guns in each other's face and Amos kills Chandra, which I was surprised. I honestly didn't think he'd kill her.
Right.
I thought he'd like wound her so she couldn't come after him or fight him.
Right.
But it probably didn't help that Mercury fired too and took off some of Amos's fingers. I'm like, ah!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've seen that too many times here recently, haven't we?
Oh my gosh. My hands. So Okoye takes off running. So she at least can get to Holden because Amos is trying to keep Mercury back. And she reunites with Holden, tells him this is what happened. And of course, Holden's like, all right, I need to go take care of Amos. And Okoye is just sitting there like, what do I do?
Oh, by the way, this is Miller.
Right? And we hear him talking through that weird metal, like Beetlejuice art thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, modern art takes on a whole new meaning.
Molecule sensed that they were in there and just threw Miller way up high up against the wall, and apparently it knocked some pieces loose.
It was so weird. So it was just like, it was not what I was expecting. It just really was.
A metal dog-ish Miller.
Right. And okay, great. They're still going to try to figure out something because Okoye is just sitting there like, I don't know what to do. Like the protomolecule and this metal thing are fighting, and like the bees are kind of coming. So I'm confused and I'm just going to take a timeout. It's pretty much what I felt like. She's like, I need to check out for a minute because I don't know what's happening. So while she is in timeout for a moment, we have Holden running into Mercury on the bridge. Big surprise. And Mercury again just steps over that gap with his like leg in a brace and everything. I'm like, couldn't that just trip you up a minute?
Right.
Because I know I have two good legs that I would be like not able to just walk over that little step. It would take me a minute to get my head around it.
Right.
And that back and forth that they had though, like their showdown, but with Mercury pretty much again monologuing with this is the Wild West and you don't come until after after the post office is up or something like that. And I thought it was like a really cool analogy, but at the same time I'm thinking that's like ancient compared to where you guys are now.
Right.
So it seemed really weird that he would use that analogy, but really interesting because so many shows that we've watched, like our history is so far in their past, like they don't remember any of it.
Right.
They've never learned any of it. So I thought that was just kind of interesting that they used that, but maybe that's just me.
If he was in the military at any time, then he's probably well aware of that.
But like I said, it's just so far in the future. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's for sure.
But it's still interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. But let me see.
Fire at each other at the same time. Thank God.
Unfortunately, Mercury's wound isn't fatal.
Fortunately, Holden's wound isn't fatal as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, of course, I wanted Holden to live, and I assumed he would, but at the same time, it's like, you never assume with some of these shows.
Yeah.
And I love it because Mercury's like, are you going to kill me? And he's like, no, you're going to go back and you're going to face down court. And I'm just thinking, but is he?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's not going to happen. I should be like, oops, you're falling,
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah, I expected Holden just to go ahead and kind of boot him off the walkway, but nope, he's bound and determined. He's taking Mercury back to Earth to pay for his crimes.
I want him to, but I have this feeling like
something's going to go wrong.
Exactly. It's like, but I also have the feeling that if he knocked him off the bridge, something would go wrong there too.
Right.
Like all of a sudden a protomolecule would take him and like save him or some crap. I don't know. So I'm not happy Mercury's still alive, but we'll get to that, I'm sure, next episode.
Oh, yeah. Go
back to Miller and Okoye. Miller asks Okoye, which I thought was funny when they do introduce themselves earlier. And it's like, yeah, that's my imaginary friend she's like, shit, I can hear him. But Miller's like, I need your help. I can't see where I'm going. Kind of move me to the hole. It's like, okay, so she's pulling and pushing and trying to get them to where she needs him to be. Whatever. And as it happens, like I said, the bees, wasps, butterflies,
metal
whatever.
Bugs.
Yes, they're released because obviously the protomolecule has figured out, hey, something's happening.
Yeah, this is not good.
And as Okoye dives for cover, they make contact with the hole, and then all of a sudden they dissipate. It's like, oh, Oh, what? Well, this is good.
Yes.
So, all right. Okoye's like, all right, Miller, let's get you there. And Holden walks in. And of course, Holden would walk in right here.
Yeah.
Because right when this is happening, Okoye is like pulling Miller and she falls back into the hole. And we don't know if Miller went through as well. But what the hell happened to Okoye? Well, we don't know because fade to black.
Right.
That was the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Why could you do this to me?
Yeah. Now, I thought that she did get Miller in there, but I don't know for sure. I mean, it's hard to know for sure exactly what happened. I mean, something started happening, so you figured Miller did get in there.
I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, I did forget to mention that Miller had told Holden, hey, there's some of that blue goo on your ship.
Right, underneath.
So hopefully that'll be taken care of because, of course, Holden's like, oh, yeah, figures. Yeah. But how are you going to leave this? Oh, my God. It's just like, And yeah, it took everything in me not to watch the next episode because we wanted to talk about this first.
Right.
I'll tell you that's very difficult. Hopefully I will not be screaming and you can hear me all around the world when you watch the end. But we were not the only ones who were talking about this episode.
Not at all.
We got some feedback.
Yes, we do. We have 2 voicemails for your listening pleasure this week. So let's first start with our friend Fred from the Netherlands and hear what he has to say about this episode. So let's take a listen.
Hello, Steve and Sean. This is Fred from the Netherlands with some feedback for the Expanse Season 4, Episode 9. Good episode. Nice to see Miller back, although I don't fully understand the protomolecule stuff. Miller is trying to escape his oppressors or whatever. Well, he is part, of course, of the protomolecule, but he wants to escape that somehow. I don't really get it, but I only saw it once. What I understand is that there was a culture. They created these structures. They created the protomolecule, but how Miller exactly fits into that, I don't fully understand. Of course, we saw him with Yuli Mao and becoming fully protomoleculed, seeing Amos being shot and lose a part of his hand. But if I remember well, they are quite good in bionics, because if I go back to, I think, Season 1, Episode 1 or 2, there was somebody with an arm there that got reconstructed. The death of Chandra Y was, of course, dramatic and possibly unnecessary, but we saw that coming. What I didn't like so much was the kind of spider Miller turned into, kind of rubbish spider. It was a bit strange. And the scene with Naomi and Lucia in space, where she floats into space and she catches her, was, in a cinematic sense, quite nice. Okay, that's all for this time. Greetings, Fred from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Fred, I understand where you're coming from as far as not understanding exactly what was going on with Miller, but I don't think
we understand either.
Yeah, I guess the Fedorid Miller was more protomolecule than the Miller.
That's what I took from it.
Right.
Like Fedora Miller was just an echo that the protomolecule is using.
Right.
That's why he couldn't say anything other than the remembered phrases.
Yeah. Wasn't able to be coherent all the time, where the one without the hat, Miller, was very coherent.
Yes. And in regards to the ring, I don't know what happened. I'm just going to say I don't know.
Yeah. And we did totally agree with you on the space scene with Naomi and Lucia, how awesome that was.
Took my breath away.
Yes. And yeah, we kind of figured that if Chandra did the wrong thing, Amos would take her out, and he sure did.
I was surprised. I was still surprised.
Yeah, I wasn't. I knew that he wasn't going to let anybody get between him and Holden. That's
They're besties.
the way he is. So, thanks again, Fred. We are looking forward to hearing your feedback on the finale.
Yes. Thanks, Fred. And we also have one from our friend Christina from Ohio. Let's take a listen.
Hello, it's Christina from Ohio, giving feedback on the penultimate episode of season 4 of The Expanse, Saeculum. What a penultimate episode it was. We finally get the confrontation between Wei and Amos that we've been waiting on. We thought it was going to go down between Mercury and Amos, but no. He sends in his boo to make the final call, and Amos has to put her down. Then Mercury is able to shoot off Amos' fingers. I bet you threw a fit seeing that go down. I will say in the books, this did happen differently. It was Mercury that ended up shooting Wei when she refused to kill Amos. So an interesting twist for us book readers. When this happened, I was like, oh shit. Then we have Okoye finding Holden just as this is going down. So she is left with Miller to integrate him into this energy that just gives me all the excitement to even think about this energy circle. And we end the episode in the cliffhanger of her falling into it. I knew I had to watch the next episode immediately. I don't know how anyone could stop at this moment. And if the next one hadn't been available at the time, I would have probably gnawed off my arm in the week I would have had to wait. That's why I just cannot see season 5 coming out week to week. I just don't know if I will have the right amount of breathing to survive that season. So what else happened in this episode? We also had Holden traveling through the elevator through the structure. That was really cool. I saw it differently in the book, but I'm not sure if it was implied in the show that it took him a few days to reach this place. So there was that as well. Then we have Mercury ordering the Israel to shoot at the Rocinante. That was a bad mistake, man. You really gonna have to deal with Holden when he hears that. We also then have the ore being saved and Naomi's awesome badass moment of just leaping off the Rocinante to save Lucia. She definitely needs to appreciate life right now because she has been given more than enough reasons to keep on going. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on a point on last week's episode where you were wondering why the general did indeed resign. It actually was because he did very explicitly state what the stakes were. He said that if they had just shot the shuttle out of the sky, there would be minimal casualties to any of the Marines. However, if they boarded, that the chances of catching Marco were pretty much slim to none. And the chances of catching him alive were all but impossible, were I believe his exact words. And then we have Avasarala saying, well, if we can catch him alive and make him stand trial, this would basically be a boon for her campaign. So in his eyes, she sent those Marines in there knowing that the chances were minimal of success, and it kind of very underlined that point. And yet he also brought up the fact that Marcos is known to use civilians as human shields. That's another reason why he did not want to send in his Marines. And you had Christian going along with that order. So in his eyes, it did, it made perfect sense what he said. Hey, you did this just for your campaign, not for what was best for those Marines. And I can't accept that under your watch. So yeah, Christian, would love to see where she ends the season. I already know. And I cannot wait to see how you guys take in Cibola Burn. Until next time, peace.
All right. Yeah, Christina, I was yelling a lot. Still mad Mercury's not dead, but whatever.
Right. And that's amazing that the books had that scene turn out completely different. That's wow.
Yeah. So this is where I was talking earlier. Christina said that in the books, he falls for days. And it does not show us either way.
Right.
So it does make me wonder. I wish they'd have said something like, oh, it's been a couple hours, anything.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give us a time frame.
Yeah. But that wasn't going quite as fast as we thought it was if it actually took days, because as far down as he was, you'd think he was halfway through to the other side of the planet.
True. Especially when he looks on the bridge and it just seems to go forever. It's like, oh, yeah, maybe.
Yep. And Christine, you have to be proud of Sean, because we saw this episode 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 3.
Yeah. We've had some stuff happen. We haven't been able to record, and I have not watched it.
Yeah. And
So
you
far.
immediately pushed the button to see episode 10. So yes, I totally understand that after this episode, if you had the opportunity to watch the finale,
watched it. I am surprised. I did not hear anything about them talking about releasing it one episode at a time next season.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
you still have the option to wait and watch it,
all at once. Yep. You can still do it that way.
but then it's going to just hang over you like the sword of Damocles.
And thanks for the explanation on the general's reasoning for resigning, that it was all because the decision Avasarala made was because of political gain instead of marine lives. So
I must have missed that part, that specific response.
Explained all that. I think I do remember him saying that, yes, it would be a lot riskier, and yes, there probably would be some deaths, but
but her saying that it'd be good for the campaign, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
But no, I totally get that. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more episode, guys.
yes.
Thank you guys for your feedback, because we love it and love the information that we aren't catching and don't know because we haven't read the books. So thank you, Christina, and thank you, Fred, for telling us your insights. And thank you guys for talking to each other to explain things that we may not catch either. So that's great. We can't wait to hear more. So why don't you all do like Christina and Fred and shoot us an email or record yourself and send the voicemail to us at sci-fi talk@fangirlzone.com. Let us know what you guys think, because obviously you know what we think and you know what these two think, but we want to know more. And are you ready for this episode? Well, I'm sorry, this season to be over, and the next episode, I should say, because I don't know if I'm ready.
Yeah.
But while you're on the interwebs, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you find us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us, tell your friends about the show. This is in the middle of our day at home time, pretty much, for everybody. So you have plenty of time to catch up on all the seasons of The Expanse.
Yes.
And become one of us. So make sure you tell your friends and get them to watch this. And of course, we hope you're enjoying the podcast. Don't forget to check out www.fangirlzone.com. We are doing some cosmetic work over there, but we still have our information up and some interesting little facts. And you can go back and watch our old interviews when this was first coming out.
Right.
With the cast of The Expanse. And you can catch up with some of the stuff that maybe you weren't quite sure about. So for this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I'm Sean Fangirl.
And I'm Steve. Civilization has a lag delay.
And until next time.